Alright guys, we are doing our April tier list. So we're going to kick things off with Branded, starting out with tier 1. It's probably going to move down as we go through. I'm putting Eldritch in tier 3. It can be the king of tier 3. This deck's garbage. You can't change my mind on it. Even with the new zombie support we just got, I haven't lost to this. Like, how are you going to lose to this if you're playing anything in the tiers above it? Even more so if you're playing Sprite and you go first against Eldritch, even if you go second against Eldritch, like the deck is just, it's done. Next to it we got Dark Magicians. It can be better than Blue Eyes at this point. Finally got their support they needed in the structure deck. Both Blue Eyes and Dark Magician gonna lose to everything above it pretty much. And probably even Cyber Dragons below it, but you're probably gonna see both of these played more than Cyber Dragon. Cubic, Acid of tier 3, and Nordics being in our stinky doo-doo tier. Next we got Crystal Beast. This deck just barely escapes the stinky doo-doo tier. I actually saw someone playing this in Platinum on my way up to Diamond. Like, I had questions. I did not lose to them, but they had made Platinum playing this deck. Good for them. But it's barely escaping being stinky poo-poo. Despia up next to Branded. I still think it's the best version of the deck, personally. Drytron. You really don't see this anymore. I'm gonna go tier 3 under Eldritch. ABC with the Therion engine. Same thing. Arrow Mage, it's pretty much stinky doo-doo at this point. D gonna go up there in tier. Jeez, this is a hard one because when the deck goes first and it goes off, but going second in the current format with DDD, especially if you play against Sprite, can really be an uphill battle. And I played a lot of Sprite Runic and I clobbered DD. I'm actually going to put him down in tier 2. Probably going to slide down in tier 2. D Hero got their card back, but it is still not very good. Going to be in tier 3. I'm actually going to put in lower tier 3. Even with Phoenix Enforcer, the deck just, it's not really that strong. Ice Jade, doo-doo tier. Adventure Engine, Adventure good stuff, it's pretty much fallen off. Everything is pretty much faster than it. It can be above Crystal Beast, and that's not saying much. Ishizu variants. So Ishizu variants are good. Obviously we don't have tier elements right now. If we get them, the deck is going to be tier 0. Ishizu tier will just be tier 0 unless they have a lot of hits before it releases. I'm recording this video like right before April 1st, so there could be a ban list announcement. I'll probably put some text up on the screen now if there is. But as of this recording, it just kind of has like a couple of variants. Like, I've seen the Runic variant, which is the most popular. I've seen the Runic Sprite variant for it. I've seen the Fairy Negate variant for it. I've seen the Lightsworn variant for it, which I actually like a lot. But I think this is like bottom of tier 1. It's just not super great and consistent without tier to back it up. It's still a good deck. You'll still see it a lot in Diamond and Platinum, but I just don't really think it's there. Altergeist. I'm actually going to put Altergeist next to Eldritch. I'm going to put them ahead of Eldritch. I've seen a couple Altergeist in Diamond. I actually had more difficulty than I did with Eldritch. I know people are going to just destroy me in the comments for that, but it's what it is. Exodia stinky doo-doo. As long as Runic exists in the format, Exodia will be stinky doo-doo. You're really not seeing Flow anymore, but if you do see it, I do think it's a solid tier 3 still. Zombies. Zombies just got interesting. It's going to take some time to see how many people actually play them as kind of like an anti-meta check. The Mayakashis for zombies, the new support came out. They're definitely decent. As far as zombies go, I'm actually going to put them up in tier 2. I had quite the time trying to out zombies with Runic Sprite. I did go second, but that was before the support was released, and I'm seeing this deck just occasionally pop up to where it's enough representation to where you might want to think on having outs to it. Also, Rivalry is a hell of a card for them to flip on you. Next we have Umi Control. I don't see this like at all anymore. Down in tier 3 it goes. Numerons, I really don't see as much of. They're very easy to out with Sprite. They can still do their OTK thing, but I kind of feel like the deck is just really crippled by the current meta, so it's going to be down in tier 3. Labyrinth is still doing stuff. It kind of doesn't care too much about the other decks in the meta. I'm going to put Labyrinth up in tier 2 for now. Same thing with Marinsis. If they go first and they get the combo off, it's a best of 1 format. It is what it is. I do feel like this is significantly hindered by the fact that I see like everyone running Lava Golem now, and you could just tribute it off, or you could just like kaiju it off. Like I see everybody running outs. I'm actually going to bump that down to tier 3. Live Twin. Live Twin Sprite is a great deck. I really like just the shenanigans it can do. I definitely think it deserves to be up in tier 1. It's very resilient. I'm gonna put it up there. Lunalight, Lunalight Try, Lunalight, whatever. This deck has completely fallen off. I never see it anymore. I think it's kind of like gimmicky. It could do stuff if it's played like piloted well, but tier 3 material, definitely. My precious spell books and my runic books, like ass end of tier 3 at this point. Like there's no reason to run that variant when Runic Sprite is just better and Ishizu Runic is just better than the spellbook variant, so is what it is. Madolche, they're kind of in a tough spot right now. Their stuff just gets banished from Runic. It gets milled out before you can do stuff with it from Ishizu. You can banish it with the branded stuff. This deck just is not really worth it anymore, in my opinion. It still has combos, so I'm going to put it up next to ABC Therion. Swordsel. Man, Swordsel's falling off hard. I still see some people run it, but it... I think Swordsel's actually in tier 2 territory at this point. I don't see it. Spheroids. Spheroids kind of like the same logic as Blue Eyes. It's a come out of left field, do a bunch of damage to your deck. It's a little fragile. Runic variants, I'm definitely going to put up in tier 1, because you got Runic Sprite, you got Runic Ishizu. Pure Runic's kind of doo-doo at this point, but there's just Runic variants all over. Thunder Dragon. Seen a lot of Thunder Dragon as soon as I got into Plat 1. Seen a lot of Thunder Dragons. They're not doing too much, but they're doing stuff. I'll put them right there. Dragon Link, I don't see this deck anymore. And even if I did, if I'm going first and setting up against it, and I'm like playing Sprite, Runic, I could probably just clobber this. You can mill out most of your opponent's pieces with Ishizu Runic. You can do Live Twin shenanigans against it. Branded does their branded thing against it. I think that this has like heavily fallen to the point where I'm actually going to put it under Labyrinth. I might actually put it even lower. I'm actually going to put Math Mechs ahead of it with Circular. I've had a harder time with Math Mechs than I have with Dragon Link in this format. Therion variants are going to go next to ABC. They're not really doing too much. Scareclaw is pretty much going to be at the ass end of tier 3 at this point. Actually, no, more middle tier 3. Witchcrafter, even with the new support, it's just not a very good deck. It's going to go right in there. 6 Samurai at this point is stinky doo-doo. You're never going to get off the Rongo Bongo or the 6 Sam spam. Salamangreat, I occasionally see it pop up. It's not horrible. It's not like really great either. Actually, I see it more than I do Herald and with Dolce. I'm going to put Salad up there in tier 3. Gravekeepers are doo-doo at this point. Menju's pretty much dead at this point. I haven't seen a single person running Menju Banish Shenanigans. It could theoretically still function, but that's going to be in tier 3. Oh, I also meant to mention real quick the grass variants with the Ishizu cards. Ooh, so many grass variants. Punk. I'm gonna put Punk at the head of tier 2. We might bump it up into tier 1 territory. Sky Strikers, tier 2, seeing even less of them than I am Dragon Link. The deck is still viable. If tier comes out, as I keep saying, broken record, if tier comes out this month, if tier comes out this month, if tier comes out this month, it's going to be tier 0. Unless there's some major preemptive hits. Tenyi Sword Soul goes right next to Sword Soul. It's the best variant of Sword Soul in my opinion still. Tribe is going to be tier 3. Dinomorphia, I feel like that's more accurate. Dragon Maid, a tough sell for Dragon Maid, even branded Dragon Maid right now. I'm in tier 3. Machine Toolbox, at this point there's just a million other options to run that would be better. It's kind of in like the same area as Adventure, but it could function. Trickstar is pretty much SOL at this point. I'm gonna put it in doo-doo. Emancipator, they only got 1 block dragon. They got that new Rakitar card, limited or semi-limited. I still see it occasionally. I have no problem with it. I'm gonna put it in tier 3. Phantom Knight Burning Abyss, I mean, it could function. There's just a lack of representation. Dinosaurs, we're going to put up in tier 2. We're going to put them behind Circular. And we're actually going to put them ahead of Dragon Link in this format. Zoo Tri, also pretty much dead. It can go down here with... Tri Brigade. Inzectors. So Inzectors got a lot of good support. Well, they really got 1 card of support, but the 1 card makes a giant difference. The deck is just able to do a ton of shenanigans now, just an absolute ton of shenanigans. It is definitely not tier 2 potential. The deck is still very fragile. The deck definitely relies on getting to Dragonfly Hornet. I'm put ahead of Madolche and kind of like the middle of tier 3. I feel like this could function in Steel games. I don't feel like you're going to see representation for it. I do feel like if you go second and you have to out the Sprite board, you're just going to look at your hand and say, well, I can't build anything besides a brick house with these cards. But it does have potential. At Ignister, I'm going to put him ahead of Dragon Link, going to put him ahead of Dinosaurs. It's at Ignister. It does its thing. At this point, I'm convinced Virtual World is just completely fallen off and is going to be back here next to Crystal Beast. It had a good run for what it was. Next, we got Pen Magicians. Pen Magicians, also kind of the same logic. They could function, but you're really not going to see it, and there's just not very much value for reward there. For risk to reward ratio. Plunder Patrol, doo-doo. Air Springins, doo-doo. Viral, doo-doo. Trap Chicks, tier 3 under pendulums, Unchained, above Crystal Beast, under pendulums, Crawler. So Crawler on its own, doo-doo. Crawler Sprite, some very interesting interactions there. The fact that you can just normal summon a Crawler, activate Soma, summon 2 more Crawlers, and now have 4 level 2 monsters on board. And you can just say, okay, Giant and Elf, let's go, and do even more shenanigans from there. Crawler Sprite is awesome. Regular Crawler would be in doo-doo, but if we're doing Crawler Sprite would probably be more up in the like tier 2-ish, tier 2.5-ish. Regular Sprite and like the Runic Sprite variants, definitely tier 1. That's definitely the king of the current list. But Crawler Sprite, probably like back here if you actually can pull it off, because keep in mind you do got to run Crawlers to run it. Crawlers, not the best engine, very slow. You can brick a hand of Crawlers. The consistency severely hurts that deck. But if you manage to draw into even 1 Soma and any level 2 monster, you're in business and you're about to make a just disgusting board. Going second, Crusadia. Fight me on that. I can't remember what that deck is called at this point. I just know it's doo-doo. Heroes and D-Heroes can be next to each other in tier 3. Phantom Knight can be next to where I put BA in tier 3. At this point, True Draco stinky doo-doo. You're just not going to get anything off with it. Harp. Harp and Friends. Next to Witchcrafter. And generic Kaiju variants, not going to get you too far at this point, but it's definitely better than Cubics. Prank Kids, Prank Kid Emancipator would probably be the only variant you'd be running, and I think it's probably going to be like floating somewhere near tier 3, put up near the top for now, and then finally we'll put Endymion at the ass end of tier 2. And I know it's wacky to see Crawlers up higher than them, but keep in mind that is for Crawler Sprite. If it was pure Crawlers, they're going to be hanging off the end of tier 3, possibly in the doo-doo tier. But that is it for this video. Agree with me or disagree with me down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.